Hi everyone, this is your girl Lala, aka the baddest woman of YouTube. If it's your first time here, make sure you click on the subscribe button down below and make sure you click on the notifications. Everybody else, whoever's been here for the longest since day one, much appreciated. If you don't have your notification turned on, make sure you turn that on. In addition, also follow me on my social medias. I'll leave that in the description box down below. So you guys remember the story time when I told y'all where my company almost burned down to the ground, right? Okay, cool. So eons ago, and I'm probably gonna get this probably jumbled up because this is just like all scrambled, like because I'm going by I remember from sunrise to sunset. So after that, we had like a town hall meeting somewhere in downtown Springs, Colorado Springs, Colorado, somewhere in downtown. So they're gonna figure out what we're gonna do, this, that, and the third. So we're like, okay, cool. So as I remembered, when we was, going to the meetings, they had us working in different buildings. Now I'm trying to figure out what came first. Okay, so what came first, and I could have sworn, was they had us worked in this building that was like way far up north, Colorado Springs, Colorado. And then afterwards, they had us working in another building, but we had to take a bus. All of us had to get on a bus, because I remember this. All of us had to get on a bus going all the way to Highland Ranch. That was like kind of like the borderline towards going to Denver. So pretty much what went down was it was a day that I was there by myself. Normally it would have been me, Miss Cologne, the girl I mentioned when we went to the club, and her cousin got us kicked out because her cousin was too intoxicated. I'll leave that story time in the link down below so y'all see what I'm talking about. But Miss Cologne didn't show up that day. So one day I remember I saw a guy that eons ago while I was working at Xerox. I don't know, for some reason we drifted apart, like we just stopped talking, and I never understood why. Like he had this like nasty attitude towards me, and I was trying to figure out like, do we got beef? But it wasn't like that, so I was a little confused. I'm the type of person like, I need to know if we got beef or not. So I asked him, I'm gonna call him T. So I asked T, I said, hey T, are we cool? Do we got beef? Da da da. This is when shit hits the fan. This idiot proceeds to raise his voice at me like I'm his child and tells me, what are you talking about? You're crazy. Get away from me. And he's loud, and not everybody can hear him because in that building it was so quiet. I had no words. I couldn't get no words out my mouth. So I said, okay, cool. I already knew where we was at. I knew where we failed at. So as time progresses, this fool proceeds to, what happened was that later on, and I found this out later on after this, he told Miss Cologne, because Miss Cologne was going to have a party after, I think it was like after the days after we had the fire situation. Like, oh, I'll come to your party, but I got a problem, me and your friend got beef, da da da. And my thing was that even me and this dude got beef, I'm the type of person, I keep it cordial. So I don't know what he was being scary about, because it was really not that deep. Now, if he wanted to shoot the fade, I'm here for it. I wouldn't care. So yes, I at that back then, I always been that type. I've been fighting dudes, but I'm not that type person anymore. But don't test me. So as time progresses, we get back to our building. Everything's been cleared. All of a sudden, for some reason, Miss Cologne, we all came back to the building, and that's when we found out people were getting fired. People were getting fired because what they was doing was, at the time when we was working at the building at Highlands Ranch, they wasn't monitoring how we was clocking in and out or what codes we were using. people were doing some random clock outs, whatever, or not. They was doing some random things that they won't be able to take calls and go across the street to Walmart to like get food or get groceries for themselves. Because it was one time these girls came on a bus with some baby shower shit. We like, bitch, what the hell? Where that came from? You know? So it was freaking weird. And I noticed, like, even when we was at the Highlands Ranch, I noticed a different type of behavior with Miss Cologne because she was a little shady with me, and I was looking at her like, I'm thinking like, what's the problem? Like she had, and she's gonna be for another story time because that for to me she was like on some fraud shit, like straight fraud shit. So that'll be another story time that I will need to spill like later on. Y'all just keep reminding me in my DMs or in my social medias. So now when we get back to our building, people were getting fired, people were already quitting, and to add more fuel to the fire, this is when I remember I was minding my business and I was going to the bathroom. No, as a matter of fact, I came back from the bathroom and I remember my supervisor, I'm gonna call him by Mr. L, rolls up on me out of nowhere, and he's a little shorter than me. So I'm like, yo, wait, hold on, you can't roll up on me like that, bruh. He's like, hey, do you want to be a tech support? I was like, yeah. He was like, how your points look? I said, dude, I don't know. How about he looked at my points? Child, I was a half a point. He looked at me like I was crazy. I said, I told you I didn't know. Shoot. So I was like, yeah, sign me up. Figure out what we need to do. I get on the phones. I'm talking with customers. I think at that time I was on the phone with a customer, and I think I offered them a credit, whatever. I see my supervisor rolls up, Mr. J. I'm going to call him Mr. J. Rolls up on me and says, hey, you got an interview. I said, excuse me? He said, hey, you got an interview at this call. Go into this code. Go in the meeting. I was like, okay. I see Mr. L. We are talking. We're chopping it up, whatever. And then by the end of the day, all of a sudden, I get told, oh, training starts tomorrow. I was like, oh, fuck my life. Okay. So, did the training, passed my test. All of a sudden, I'm being told, we're told to get on the phones. So, pretty much at that time, the aftermath of the freaking, my job almost burning down was, literally, I got into it with T. Then I noticed Miss Cologne was being shady. Then all of a sudden, I got promoted to tech support. At the time while I was at tech support, guess what? T was still up in Gen Care. I was still up on the food chain. Like, yes, you've been here longer than me, and you couldn't tell me you couldn't even get supervisor, or you couldn't even come to tech support. Oh, I had the upper hand. So I was already feeling myself. Even though, I was still learning the ins and outs of tech support. But I was still feeling myself. Because I was like, yo, this is the same cat who yelled at me who was in the same department. You've been here longer than me, and I got promoted faster than you? Tuh! So as time progresses, later on, I think that's when word on the street, what happened was, it was me, I'm going to call this lady Miss Brown. Me, Miss Brown, and T was sitting around on the table at the break room, and we was talking something about how, some of the girls in Miami, you got to watch out for them. Girls in Miami, don't take this the wrong way. If it doesn't apply to y'all, don't come for me in my comments. You will get dragged and screenshotted. So they were saying, watch out for these girls in Miami. They no good. They the type that they like unprotected sex, and they'll give you STD, AIDS, whatever. So I was like, okay, we was all having a simple talk, whatever. So Miss Brown left, and I was gonna trail behind her because I know it was time for us to go back to our desk. T stops me and says, hey, I do apologize for what happened last time. I didn't mean to yell at you or scream at you. I was just at a bad moment. He said, I realized, like, you're not a bad person. Like, I fucked up. Like, he admitted he was wrong. I was like, dude, I was just checking. You had a problem with me. Like, it's not like I came with 5 niggas on your house. I just wanted to know. So, all in all, the situation was squashed. T ended up being a supervisor. I was still in tech support. I know as time progresses, that's when they was doing some kind of weird ass sweep. I know T was gone, and then as time progresses, before I end up getting part of that sweep, I left because that's when I got in another job. So the last time I saw T was when it was, I would say, closer to Christmas break at the other job, because that's when I saw him again. He had deer, and then after that, at that time progresses, I didn't see him again. I don't know if he left and got another job or he was fired. Who knows? But all in all, that's all I have. My story time of the aftermath of my job almost burning down to the ground. Comment down below if you've been in a situation at your job that you was in a conflict with somebody and later on you had the upper hand. And make sure you like this video. Till then, bye.